Hey everyone, welcome back to Fast Food Barbecue. So today we're making canard à la presse, which basically means pressed duck in French. No, I can't speak French, I looked it up. So I've been wanting to make this dish for a long time now. There's a couple funny things about this dish. I've never made it before, and I don't have a duck press. But I came up with a brilliant idea, which we'll get to later. So right now what I have here is a 5-pound Peking duck. Came with a sauce packet, an orange sauce packet, we just tossed that. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to get this thing, the whole thing salted. The whole duck. Okay. Now this salt is going to draw out moisture and give us a really nice crispy skin. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit for about an hour or two, and then we'll get back to it. Alright, so our duck's been sitting for about 2.5 hours in the refrigerator with the salt on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pat this guy dry. It's been on a rack. I'm going to pat this guy dry. And then what we're going to do is, I'm just noticing now, they got the neck piece on, so we're going to trim this guy up a little bit. So let's move this over. This guy on here. We definitely don't need this neck here. So I'm going to take that neck off. And then on the bottom here, there's some really thick pieces of fat, but trust me, we're going to use this fat because duck fat's amazing. And that looks good to me. As far as trimming goes, everything looks good. Looks good. Right. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a cold pan, and we'll get back. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this duck in a cold pan, and what we're going to do is we're going to render out some of the fat, get it nice and crispy. We'll do our best get it all crispy, rendered out. This burner burns hot, so I could already hear it start sizzling. So we'll start that and we'll come back. Alright, so our duck's been going a few minutes, so we're going to give this guy a flip. And we're getting all that good fat in the pan, which we're going to use for one of the steps. This is one of those dishes that kind of reminds me of the demi-glaze video. A lot of steps, but it's definitely worth it. We're going to let that go for a little while. And we'll come back. Alright, so we got our grill heating up right now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to make the sauce. So we have this beautiful duck fat in here. So what it has is celery, carrots, onions. We'll put that in there. And then I'm not going to add any salt to it. I'm going to add a little pepper. And I'm going to add some thyme. I don't know if thyme really goes in this recipe, but I like thyme, so we're going to add it. Okay. And give this a good stir. Smells amazing. We'll let this go for a little minute, for a minute or so. Okay. Like I said before, this is a lot of steps to this dish, but definitely worth it. All right. I also have some whole garlic cloves in here, I forgot to say. See? Right there. But this is a rough chopping of veg. They're going to be strained anyway at the end. So we'll let that go another minute. We're gonna let this go a few more minutes and we'll be back. All right, so our veggies is getting nice and caramelized. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add a little red wine to it, Merlot. Yep, boxed wine, nothing of the best here. All right. So we're gonna let that reduce for a few minutes. I gotta tell you, it smells amazing. And the way it looks, it's reducing really fast. Gotta love a hot burner. So let that go for a few minutes. And we'll come back. Alright, so our red wine has reduced. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little chicken stock. There should be duck stock, but I didn't have any, so we're going with chicken stock. That's that. We'll let that go, and we'll let that reduce for probably about 15-20 minutes. Alright, now that our sauce is done reducing, we're going to strain it. Fine strainer. We'll let this strain, and then we'll give this a few minutes, and then we're on to yet another step. All right, we'll see you then. All right, so I got my grill at about 600 degrees right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this thing in here and let it sit on indirect heat probably about 10 minutes or so. We'll check on it and we'll be back. All right, now that our duck has been on the grill on indirect heat for 600 degrees, we're going to remove these legs. I already started this one. I'm going to finish that. There's one. Turn it around. That, get right in there like that. I'm missing the joint here. This one's giving me a pain for some reason, but we'll get it. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not really great at butchering ducks, but that's right. Oh. There we go. All right. Here's the other leg. Now, we're going to take the breast off. I'm going to go find the center. Right there. I'm going to go straight down along the bone. We don't want to lose any of this precious breast meat because it is amazing. Okay. Turn around. Get all this good breast meat off. And that's that. Okay, there's one. And yes, this duck is very rare. It's actually pretty much raw, but that's actually what we want for this dish. So next, going to do next duck breast here. Okay. I'm going to go down along the bone like that. Beautiful. Looking good. Right in there. That's it. Now it looks raw, but trust me, it's not. Well, it is, but we're going to serve this medium rare. So now next, I'm going to go on with the wings. Flip it over. Pull that out. There's one wing. Pull that out. There's another wing. Now the rest of this, there's some good meat on here still, so we're definitely gonna take that off. Okay. And believe it or not, I know it's not the most healthy thing, but I will be frying these bits and pieces up. Okay. A little fat off of there. And that's good. Look great. So now move on to the next step. We need another piece of fat over here actually. So I'm going to render that down to make duck fat. Alright, now on to the next step. Alright, so earlier at the beginning of the video, I said I was making pressed duck, but I didn't have a duck press, and I had this genius idea. So right now we're going to see if it works. So I got the carcass. So we're going to cut this thing into manageable pieces. Doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Looks good. Now, what we're going to do is, we're going to use my sausage stuffer. I figured it's the same concept. It's a hydraulic kind of press going in. So we'll see what happens. You know, basically what we want is the blood and the juices from the carcass. So let's get this on, and we'll see how it works. All right, let's crank this thing down, and hopefully it'll work. We're gonna find out in a minute. It's either gonna be a great idea or a failure. We'll see. Okay. I hear juices, but it seems to be fighting me. Let's tilt it and see if anything comes out. We're getting a little bit. All right. No, we'll keep cranking on this thing. Hopefully they don't ruin my sausage stuffer. Okay. See what happens here. It's actually working out pretty good. Getting the blood and juices I want. Okay. Hopefully that didn't ruin my sausage maker. It looks good actually. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the carcass out of there and put it in a strainer of this and see if we can get a little more juice out of it and blood. Alright, now that our stock is reduced, we're going to add some butter to it. Because the French like butter. I like butter. Who doesn't like butter? This is actually going to make it amazing. More amazing than it is. So it's going to actually, believe it or not, thicken it up a little more. So, let's stir this in. And that's it. Another minute or so, I'm ready to rock. Alright, I guess apparently my sausage press idea worked out really well. I didn't break my sausage press. So what I have here is the sauce we made earlier from the celery, carrots, onions, and the chicken stock. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the blood to it and whisk it in. Now normally the sauce would be a little hotter and you have to temper it, otherwise the blood would coagulate, but I let it cool down. So that's that. Now the duck carcass We're gonna put that in a bag and save it with all the other fat, and we'll bake it and just pretty much gnaw on the bones. All right, now to the next step. All right, now that our sauce is done, we're gonna use the same pan for the duck breast and legs and thighs. These are really thin breast, thinner than I thought, but that's all right. We're gonna put them in a cold pan, as well as the legs and the thighs. And we're gonna let this fat render down and get really crispy. All right, so duck breasts are rendering right now. So what we're gonna do is, let's get this bottle open. All right, we're back. I had a problem getting the cap off the brandy because my hands are greasy. So I'm gonna get these in there just for a second or two, that's it. And now we're gonna hit with some brandy. And we'll let that go for just a minute, and that's it. All right. That's it for the breast. And that's it. The legs. I'll give it another minute or so. Legs and thighs. So now we're going to add our duck blood and juices and stock. And we're going to let this reduce a little bit. And that's it. And this is going to be amazing. So, for the first time making it in my little experiment, it actually worked out pretty well. I'm very happy with it. So, we'll let that go for a few minutes and we'll be back. Alright, so we're done. So let's slice into the duck breast. I'm going to slice this thing. To me, it's cooked perfectly. Some people might look at it cooked more, but to me, that is perfect. All right, let's try a duck breast and see how it came out. The anticipation's killing me. Yeah. Every time I eat duck breast, medium rare to rare, I love it so much. Yeah, it's amazing. And the sauce with the duck blood and the stock is totally amazing. So, a lot of effort, but definitely worth it. So, thank you for watching. Hey everyone, it's Chris from Fast Food Barbecue. So as I was editing the video, I noticed that the duck looked a little rare. But you got to realize there was actually hot sauce going over the duck, so it actually came out medium rare. And the part where I was putting it on the plate on the video, the plate didn't show up because I put it in the wrong place. But I just wanted to add that note. Thank you again for watching.